Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 285 of my modded Factorio playthrough. In this episode, we are going to finish up with lithium-ion batteries and make some upgrades with them. Enjoy! So we just want to grab some stuff to help us build it a little faster. We're still doing okay on those rails. Oh yeah, we have 1.3k of them just sitting around still, so we haven't really needed to make any new ones in quite some time. Alright, chemical plants, we're going to need a bunch of them. I guess we'll just grab what we can. And before we get started on that, we might as well get the research done for this. Probably the most useful application of this is making personal batteries. So we just take the Mark II batteries, add lithium-ion batteries to that, and then it'll have a capacity of 120 megajoules compared to just 50 before. So that holds way more. And we can do the same thing for vehicles, where the Tier 2 holds 120, but the Tier 3 will hold 210. And we can do the better accumulators, which our factory could probably make use of, where we're using the high capacity ones right now. Energy capacity of 10 megajoules, but now it will be 15. And we might as well hit these other researches that are related to it, just to complete it out, and plus it's some military research, which will be good. We can do the green ammo packs, which upgrade from blue, where this does 110 damage, this one does 120, and it does not require the previous battery pack, it just requires a different gem, and those lithium-ion batteries, of course. And take it a step further to do the amethyst ones as well. Use up some of that nickel. And we'll do the laser turret Mark IIIs and the plasma turret Mark IIIs. That should be a lot of juicy research to hopefully use up some nickel. Of course, it says we're not maxed out on that, but we are. It's just the buffer warehouses are full right now. Okay, can probably just grab a copy of this station and invert it. So we can do something like that. And we don't need to worry about fuel because it'll be covered at the other station. It's kind of weird placing those with ghosts, but I think that gets us covered. Now we gotta wait on the robots to fill all this in. Well, there's always more logistics networks to place. So do we need anything else on this other station? Looks like it. We do have the plastic, but we don't have carbon. So we need to make a request. For carbon, negative 512. Make sure that it's on the carbon network. And let's set this to carbon to meet up the other components that we need. This will be lithium unload. Depot West, I guess that makes sense. So that's already getting the carbon. So we need to do lithium load where they are, full cargo, then lithium unload until either the cobalt oxide is 0 or the perchlorate is 0. And now it's moving. It's amazing how fast it gets here. That's looking good. That will be everything that we need. Oh, those are going to be kind of in the way. Let's clear all these rocks out of the way. And then we need to make a setup. It doesn't actually require any acids now. at least any liquid acids. Just 4 inputs, which is quite a bit. Well, because of how big this is going to be, let's see if we can do it with no spaces. We want the lithium-ion batteries with productivities. I imagine that means each machine, yep, is going to be super duper slow. So it's going to be 2 belts. One pulling from near, one pulling from far. We can put the power poles in the middle, and then we can do 2 reds and then the red output. So same thing. Nears. And then we'll do long-handed there, and then extra long-handed. Although it's pick up and drop. There we go. So we want to invert it. Although it might make it easier just to rebuild it on this side here, but we can still copy these. Actually, that'll work. Oh yeah, that does it. Not much to the setup. It's just a lot of them. And we can layer these on top of each other. Wonder why we're not getting ammo. Did we just remove the supply box? Maybe. There we go, that'll get us supplied again. Probably need to have a lot more parking spaces. Don't go there. So we'll copy this. Not sure how many this is going to end up being. Let's just go up to there, I suppose, because that's how high the other one did. So what do we got? 72. We'll grab the whole thing. Come over here. And copy it. Again. So then that would give us 144. So we need to go up to there. So the last 3 rows. Hey! Requesting some Invar. Which means we're finally going to consume a little bit of nickel. Not much. Especially considering how much is stuck in here. 35,000. So it's not going to be much, but we're starting to use some of it. Let's get rid of the extra belts on the end. And we gotta let this place. But we can keep the bot network going. And I guess we can just barely get around this. Then we'll have an output. Our second output of this bus. We do need to get it configured. These are set, but this one up here needs to be set to the lithium-ion battery. As well as all of these as well. And of course, These bots are kind of in the way. But whatever. We'll just keep jumping over them. At some point we need to do something about that, but... well, for now it works. Okay, we need to get the resources in here. Don't think it terribly matters which one goes where. Oops, this one is one square down. So the plastic can go there. Entities missing materials. It's interesting. I wouldn't expect it to be missing things. It looks like it's there. It's just waiting on them to get here. So this is the carbon. Just line it up with that. So those are the legacy resources in there. And now we've got to get the new stuff. And there's all the research. And the output batteries will come down here. So we're just waiting on the resources to get here, so hurry up already. Thank you. Right on cue. So I super duper hope that we didn't forget anything, because that was a longer process than I was expecting to get to this. But let's go. Let's see some lithium-ion batteries. And there they are. Beautiful. Eventually this thing should pump out 30 of them per second once it gets completely filled. And we should see lots of green lights. Of course, those machines still haven't placed yet, so why haven't they? 21 remaining. Are there none left? Nope. You know what? I bet the recipe changed. I didn't check a while back with that update that changed a lot of the tech tiers, because it would have just been very monotonous to check every one of these things, so I kind of wanted to play it by ear and see. So, oh yeah, you can definitely see that all these requests are wrong. So we'll hit that, and then remove that, and then clear it out. Put those in there. And we're getting them made again. Okay. Make sure the numbers are good. Should only, yeah, have about 10 or so, and then maybe 50 on the end. Starting to fill up on lithium-ion batteries in here. Yep. Looking good. Eventually this should max out, but we still gotta wait for those machines to get here first. How is the actual lithium setup doing? Seems okay. It seems like it's a little slow here. The input for all of that is 7 per second, and the output of all of these is 6. I guess that's okay. It seems kind of odd that it's slightly misaligned there. Might have got the numbers a little wrong, and it's a little late because I deleted everything. But you know what? It's close enough. I don't think it needs to be absolutely perfect. We're not going to be pounding through this stuff that fast. Machines are getting placed. So too are the modules. You can speed it along by placing them now. And there we go. Yeah, just about maxed it out. Awesome. Well, now that we have these lithium-ion batteries, it's time to put them to use. It would be nice to make accumulators for the factory, but that'll take a while. But in the short term, we can upgrade our character. If I can figure out where it is. Right there. So it's going to require the previous tier of battery. That's okay, because we've got a bunch of them right here. And I am thinking I would like to have shields, because every once in a while in the biters attack, it'd be nice to just have basically regenerating health. Don't need to have a ton of health, but having no shield at all means you basically need fish, otherwise your health won't recharge. So I would like to fill up that spot, and that's okay because even with the rest of these here, we'll still have way more energy capacity. So, is the personal shield in here? Yeah, it looks like it. We can do Mark II energy shield because we have the green circuits. Holds twice as much hit points and charges 50% faster. Seems good. Easy to make. So there we go, that'll help. And then the rest of this, where these hold 50 megajoules, and then they will be 120. I'm not sure I want to upgrade the robots because that will take extra slots, and I don't really feel like the personal robots are slow, so I don't know if having more would really help. Besides that, we're still going to have to charge the same amount of time per unit of gameplay at the inductor, because the inductor always produces the same amount of power. So if we increase the drain rate of the robots, we'll just have to go to the induction coils more often to charge. And this will also be the case with these better batteries. That will go longer between charges, but the actual charge will take a lot longer. So as a comparison, before we upgrade the batteries, we can stand on here, and if you look at the right side of the screen, that's basically a percent bar where it's going up reasonably fast. But that won't be the case for long. Let's grab like 200 of these and pull these out. So I guess we need 10. And they use 2 of the previous battery, so we're going to need regular batteries, and the power went out because we took all the batteries out. Oh yeah, and robots are helping, so please don't. There we go, that should be all of what we need. Why is it so dark? Guess I should put lights down, but this is so rare that I'm not too concerned about it. I did upgrade the flashlight. I think that was pretty much after the long night was over, but I noticed there's a big halo around the character where it's not just completely pitch black now. That's interesting. So you can actually see without any lights. I think I like that better than it was. But too late for those earlier episodes. Because they were already recorded. Better batteries. Now the phone will go longer between charges. I wonder if 120 megajoules is a good charge. Sounds like a lot of power. Is that, yeah, delivering more lithium components. Alright. There we go. Now we hold way more power. Whoa, that's kind of cool. You don't really see that when you're facing them. But away, you can kind of see them doing their circle. But time to charge. So now you see that the charge rate appears to be a lot slower than before. It isn't. We're receiving the same amount of power. It's just our batteries hold way more power now, so it's going to take longer to charge. But we'll have to do it much less often. So, seems like a good trade. Still not that much of a charge, because I think before we were going about an hour between charges, so now it's probably going to be about 2.5 hours between charges, so sitting for, what, 40 seconds or so every 2.5 hours seems like a small price to pay to have our character fully powered. I'm surprised how well being basically battery powered has been working. It's a pretty cool way of doing things, I think. And we're ready to rock and roll. Everything's full. Well, before we handle the accumulator, that's interesting. Not terribly sure what happened there. What was that? Seems like, is it the water that's doing it? That is weird. Well, that's gonna be a huge drain of power. Something with the jetpack. Because you see that it's consuming a huge amount of power to do that. That's an interesting bug. I don't know. I wonder. Since you use the J key to fly, is that hooked up to any other potential keys? So J is hooked up to the jetpack, honk, reconvert tiles. I don't know. Well, I guess we can always just keep it in our inventory. Don't need it all the time, but that would be really annoying. Kind of the whole point of having power armor is that it does all these things and you don't need to think about it. So we'll have to take a look at that. Figure out exactly what's going on there. Because now we should be able to fly and it's not gonna do anything weird. So yeah. So how are we doing with our other resources? Nickel is still quite high. So we're working on them. It's just gonna be a little while. And concrete is getting worked on as well. So where's the crawler at? Let's load you up with some batteries. Let's see. Oh, look at that. We're just about cleared out with all this cobalt. It's weird how it's only on 1/2 of the belt, but I guess that's just the side it was getting pulled from, so no issues there. Alright, let's go for a drive. Give you some better batteries. Yeah, this is kind of, I think, what the flashlight looked like before, and there's no halo, just the lights in front, and that's it. So for future playthroughs, we'll have to check that out. I probably, don't get too worried about it, that any other factories I might do after this one. I probably won't do the super dark nights. I don't mind it, but at the same time I understand that it's divisive, and it does get old after a while, so I probably won't use it for any future ones. We'll see. It's kind of hard to think back that far because now that there's night vision, I barely see it. So now that train is running. It's basically going twice as often as it needs to because some of these it uses much faster, but it's keeping up, so nothing really to worry about there. Can we get through here without crashing into something? There we go. Still making batteries. Yep. Okay. So, this thing's got a ton of slots for batteries too. Oh. And there were some solar panels on the very end that needed to be upgraded. So we need a couple more, but we need gold for that, so that'll have to wait. Uh-oh. Copper warehouse is above 90%. So why? Oh, I bet it's the science research, right? Yeah. Well, not much can be done about that, except for turning off the buzzing. That is a disadvantage of having lights constantly flashing, is that I see the square and I think, oh, Science 1 is overloaded, and I'm like, And there's no other problems with the factory. But there kind of is right now. Despite all the work we've been doing, it's still been mostly dormant because it's science that consumes all these resources. Well, copper might get completely maxed out here. Which should be bad, but we'll see how it works. We need but a tiny request of something and then boom, not a problem anymore. We did need to get some gold real quick to make 6 panels, I suppose. And hey, copper went down, so disaster has passed. Kind of, it's still pretty high, but it looks like we're actually consuming that copper. And oh yeah, it is using copper to make coils, but I noticed that it's strangely empty in here. Why is that? No fuel. It looks like it's just kinda messed up. I think we can just go down there to fix it. Because it'll be easier just to place this manually because it's different for this one. So it just ran out of fuel. There we go. Rocking and rolling again. Didn't really matter because we only needed 4 belts of output and we could make 8, so wasn't too much of a difference there, but it's all fixed. Acids are doing okay, but hydrochloric acid is getting maxed out, which makes sense because that is a result of using salt to make sodium hydroxide. I noticed that actually salt is getting pretty high, about 20,000. But we can electrolyze it here and then get rid of the chlorine, which is what I think we're doing. The other option is to use it to make the hydrochloric acid, which we have been, but do we want that to always be maxed out? I don't think we do anything with hydrochloric acid down here, because that's fluoric acid. So I don't think we need to leave any open spaces to handle it. It's probably working as intended here. I do kind of want to increase this thing's output because now we're making way more salt than we were before. Takes a lot of batteries to make these. 4 of tier 1, 2 of tier 2, and then makes the 1 of tier 3. So it really boils them down. Probably going to upgrade the vehicle's energy shield as well. Oh yeah, for sure. Since we're here, taking a look at everything, we might as well. Hopefully it's not glitched, but of course it can't fly, so I imagine it isn't. There we go. Probably need to get an output set up here in case we find ourselves with batteries we want to put back in the network. Alright. Looking pretty good there. Feels real nice to have our character upgraded. Feels real bad to not be able to use that energy shield, so I'll take a look at that, see if I can figure out what's going on there, what kind of mod conflict is doing that. But nonetheless, anytime we're actually fighting biters, I can always throw that in there, I suppose. It's just the point of Factorio is being automated, not manually switching your equipment around because of bugs. So this was set up for a production rate based on just ore sorting. But now we can go fast. Might as well just throw speed modules and everything. Don't really care too much about balance. Well, seems like they can't keep up, so let's put another one in there. And might as well upgrade this to blue. Oh, how it's trying. I'm surprised this worked without being a filter inserter, because it really should have been. Oh, and it's not really working because it was putting the sodium in there. There we go. Man, it's going fast. Lots of blue inserters. Probably need another one right there. And now that's having trouble of getting them out. Oh, looks like I got the wrong thing set there. Because we want the stack inserter. There we go. I was wondering why it wouldn't let me place that in there. That thing's going through salt real fast. Because we kind of need to, because that lithium setup sure generates a lot of it, or at least transforms it. I didn't really check, but I have the feeling it doesn't actually consume that much. That it's just taking sodium, turning it into sodium hydroxide, and then it gets switched back to sodium again. That seems fast. And in the whole process making a bunch of chlorine, which is all getting dumped. So I think I'm happy with that. And this is all looking good. So fantastic. Now we have lithium ion batteries. The next step is to upgrade the entire factory to use them for the accumulators. But that's going to have to wait until the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.